Yo, what is going on, good people? I hope that you're having an amazing day. I am wearing this hat because number one, it shows that I'm official and I kind of know what I'm talking about. Number two, fact check everything that I say. Do your own research. Don't believe me. Don't believe anyone. Use the formula for truth. Seek understanding. Take the information in. Weigh it on the weights and scales. Why do you believe that? See if you can prove it wrong. Go to both sides and just have fun with this. The other reason I'm wearing this hat is because it's all ridiculous. This stuff is so ridiculous. So let's try to make it fun. Let's try to make it lighthearted. Unfortunately, I got to report on this stuff because I just want to know the truth. And, I'm going to just kind of share what I find. I'm reaching down here because these chimes are perfect harmony. Perfect sound. Wonderful stuff. So I'm going to get into current events. What's going on? We'll see how long this YouTube video channel lasts. If you like the content, please go to my Telegram group. You can find it. Go to mattbelair.com. That's the best. Sign up for the email list. They deleted me on Facebook and on Instagram. Hopefully it'll come back. But we got mass censorship going on. So it's the real deal. And yeah, so here we go. I'm going to start sharing my screen here and telling you what's going on, what I see. So browse launcher, share computer sound, optimize share for video clip. That's what I'm going to want here. Okay, so here we go. What are we going to do here? All right, so the first thing about this globalism stuff, what I've kind of said from the beginning is that this is basically they want to get Trump out of office. Well, and it's a globalist agenda. So look at this here. We got in Canada, they're announcing Biden the winner, right? You go down here and look at this. You got no comments. Nobody can comment. Why not? So that's interesting. This is in Canada. It's all pro-Biden Democrats, which is totally fine. So then we got Kamala Harris here on CTV News, in her victory speech. Well, as far as I know, and I only know a little bit, a tiny, tiny bit about American politics, because I'm not interested in politics. I'm just interested in the truth. So please inform me. Let me know what you think. Isn't it the courts that decide the winner, or is it the media? I think it's the courts, right? And so we got Kamala Harris on here, and let's look at the comments here. Literally laughing after she said, "You choose." Looking at the comments makes me think Legacy News has failed Canadians. In Canada, we have one company that runs all the news. Go to canucklaw.ca. I'm not going to do all the research for you. It's so much stuff out there. So I'm just going to do a little synopsis. Canuck Law CA is a great resource. Also, Telegram is where all the censored people are going because you're not allowed to share this stuff. And guess what? You can't share it in China. They have no YouTube. They have no Facebook. And there is a connection between Biden and China, which should probably be looked into if you're voting for them, and just to see if that's legit or not, because China does not have a great model for freedom as far as I'm concerned. So you got people, talking about all different things in here, and they kind of know what's going on. There's a lot of hope in the comments that I see. They kind of rip it apart, fraud, this and that, victory speech. When did she win? So it seems like people know, right? So this is just in Canada. So what do we got here? Now this is in Australia. Joe Biden wins again in Australia. So why is Joe Biden winning? All of this stuff. Why is he won? As far as I know, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's court cases. There's a lot of great evidence for fraud. I've had a buddy of mine say there's no evidence for fraud. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, have you looked? I was like, I don't care. I just care about the truth. It's like there's tons of evidence for fraud. Are you joking me? Oh my God. That's what cognitive dissonance is. And so you'll notice here, no comments allowed in Australia. Why is that? Probably because they know what's going on. So let's go here. Joe Biden, we're in the BBC now. We're in the UK. So, we've got comments allowed. And basically, if you read through these comments, you got some people that are pro-Biden, but a lot, mostly, I would say 90% of these comments are not pro-Biden. They're not pro-Democrat. So around the world, you've got a lot of people that really are questioning this election. They're questioning Biden because this is what a lot of people have been talking about is a globalist agenda. This is talked about in some of the research. Look up the interview by George Cooper. William Cooper, former CIA agent. That's a really great interview. Again, I'm not going to go through all this stuff, but he talks about how the U.S. needs to be conquered under the UN. You can also look up the Iron Mountain report done by Kennedy, again needing to take the U.S. under the UN. So this is a coup as far as the evidence that I've seen. If you show me better evidence, great. I'll revise my opinion. I'm not attached to my opinion. I'm just sharing what I thought here. And let's consider, what do we do to build a better world? What kind of people do we want to be? So even if they believe the polar opposite and you believe in globalism and we should have forced vaccines and medical tyranny, okay, great. Just don't enforce that on me. And remember, who is the oppressor? The oppressor is the one who enforces. So a lot of people are talking about, the Republicans, that ideal. We got to get off of Trump. You know what I mean? Because they just go, oh, it's Trump. I was like, no, he's got a whole cabinet and he's got millions of people who believe that ideology. And what the other side is saying is, if you believe in that ideology, you're a racist and a terrible person if you believe in your own freedoms. Well, that's not the case. I don't think that that's true and that's fair. Like even Biden, I don't mind about Biden. I don't think we should be attacking his character. Like, yeah, there's probably some stuff with his mental health and things like that. And I do think, they're just using him as a person to get Kamala Harris in, right? And then you look at they call Trump a racist, but then you look at the crime bill. And then Biden also said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black or something. I think that's pretty racist, isn't it? Imagine if Trump said that, everybody would be losing their mind. So it's just a Democrat ideology. And if some of those people have the American will at heart. So in Canada, we're basically already taken over by globalists because we're just going to do what the World Health Organization says. We sold our resources to China, right? So we're kind of screwed over here. But that was what's going on in the States. And a lot of what Trump was talking about is all the business in the States. And I know this, the business in the US going to China. And so I speak really fast, and a lot of this, again, it's just a hot overview. And when I re-listen to myself, I'm like, man, you're deleting a lot of information. So just do your own research, question what I say. I'm going to probably say a whole bunch of incorrect things here, but it'll give you some clues. So when I worked on bringing awareness to organ harvesting going on in China, we're going to do a big festival because what's happening in China is they're specifically targeting Falun Dafa meditators. Now I've heard that they might have Muslims or something like that in concentration camps. I don't know about that. That's just hearsay, so check into that. But something fishy is going on there, I think. I haven't gone down that rabbit hole, so I don't know. But what I do know is when we were going to get this festival going, we were going to call it Blacklisted, because if you speak out about China, then you are basically blacklisted from the country. That's what we call blacklisted. And so a lot of big business, a lot of big tech, is for China. China also has, the main influence in the World Health Organization, creating the policy going forward, connected to Johns Hopkins, Bill Gates, all that kind of stuff. So let's flash forward over here to Event 201. Event 201 was a 3.5-hour pandemic tabletop exercise that simulated a series of dramatic scenario-based facilitated discussions confronting difficult true-to-life dilemmas associated with response to hypothetical but scientifically plausible pandemic. So you can read through all that kind of stuff if you want, the scenario. I recommend going to BitChute and checking out Plandemic 2. It's a high-level overview. And guess who's on here? World Economic Forum, Bill and Melinda Gates, John Hopkins, World Health Organization implemented in this. And anybody talking about it, guess what? They get deleted. And I can just say from my personal experience, me sharing all this stuff, I don't get anybody who gives me any good evidence or links. I just get shaming and guilt and ridicule. Come on, man, you're a sore loser. You don't know what you're talking about. Some of these people are even my friends I grew up with. I was like, I've been telling you about this since we've been 18 and you didn't give a shit then and you don't give a shit now and it's right in your face. I was like, come on, man. I was like, oh my God, just look at the link. Like there's a link. It just shows you. So let's go to it. World Economic Forum. Here we go. So this is your research. I forget what it is, but there's a protocol. We got a high level intelligence audience out there. You know what I mean? Let's get together in community. Telegram, it's t.me/Matt Belair. Go over there and I'll send you to other groups. All the people getting wiped off are over there because it's still censorship free. But the homework is how do you take over a regime? I think it's like, there's these 4 steps. I can't remember what they are now. Someone will link them up. But what's happening now, what they're positioning is that Trump is a dictator and he won't leave office, even though there's all this fraud shenanigans going on. And so we saw this months ago from the evidence and research. And again, most people are going about their lives. They're worried about their families and their kids and how to put food on the table. They're not looking up all this stuff. This is just weird stuff that I like. But I like the truth, and I also like empowering content. What's the limit of human potential, right? You've watched the podcast. So what is the limit? So as we look at these things, just remember your own mastery, your own health. There will be a decision. There will be an opportunity to make a good decision. And don't worry, I have seen evidence that all this is going to come to light. It's going to be a little bit shaky. People are going to be in cognitive dissonance for various reasons, but you master yourself. Create your own spiritual connection, figure out your way to contribute to community, exercise your own decision-making faculties, and try not to divide, because this, divide and conquer is the way to go. And so we need to be aware of what's going on. So check this out. This was World Economic Forum, 5G, which they say could be the reason for the second wave. So let me see if I can log in here. Okay. So here we go. So you got to log in here to kind of see how amazing this is. This is the New World Order laid out in extraordinary detail. Every single thing, 5G, infrastructure, you click that. They got everything even into the AI. It's unbelievable. And also, it's very anti-Trump. COVID-19 civic participation. So if this wasn't planned, how do they got vaccination? Cool. Let's just go there, see what's going on. And then they got videos always on the right for you, so we can get more information about whatever they got going on here, the economic cost. And this is all basically what they want to do. And here is your new the Great Reset. Right? So you got to have the Great Reset, and this is all positive stuff, check out Agenda 2030. And that was sarcasm for those of you guys who don't know. Very, very sarcastic, probably not good. But maybe it is good. Maybe I'm just resisting something that's completely awesome. And, I'm just like, this is going to be great. We can look at our digital identity here. That's going to be fun. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants a vaccine in their arm. And what are we going to do? Global risks, right? We're probably going to have to social distance. Oh, wait, did that have election? Let's go back. Can I go back? How do I do this? Global risks. I don't know. So you say human rights. So this is the detail on this is absolutely insane. So go to Plandemic 2. They kind of give you a high level overview. You're going to want to follow David E. Martin because he's amazing. He really knows what he's talking about. High Wire, Del Bigtree, he got deleted. So that's not ideal. There's a lot of people who just were totally wiped off. And so you'll see actually when I first went through this, very anti-Trump. So why is everybody anti-Trump? And when you say anti-Trump, try to get off the Trump thing and say Republicans want freedom. Trump has said, hey, vaccines are going to be optional. Biden says we should look at making them forced. And you can have that belief, but maybe half the people don't want that. So Biden's also said that. And so let's go to something that's important here. Let's see if I can, okay, we'll go. All right. So here's, all right, what were we going to say? All right, let's start in reverse. So if you look up the New World Order, you got Obama talking about it. You got the Bushes talking about it. What are they talking about? What the hell is that anyway? So let's start with Obama. Everybody loves Obama. So let's just, let's play this clip. Hopefully the sound is right.
And for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs.
Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their affairs. Now, honestly, with what I've been looking out in the world, freaking maybe, because this has been, people have been disappointing me. But they can, given the right information, and stop getting brainwashed with psychological manipulation, scaring the crap out of them so their regular faculties aren't working. So yeah, that will make people a little bit crazy. But he's saying ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. People love Barack Obama. That's what he's saying. Screw you, man. And even if I am a dummy, which, probably am, don't know very much about much, I'd like my own opportunity to govern myself, please, you butt.
That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Surrender your rights. How's that sound, Obama lovers? Surrender your rights to an all-powerful sovereign. I don't even know what that means. Probably New World Order stuff, right? So there's other stuff that he said, right? So let's go to Biden here. People love now. This is an old one on C-SPAN. Biden's been around for a long time. He created the crime bill, which basically put nonviolent criminals away for 30 years, destroying black communities. But Trump is the racist, and Trump created a bill to repeal that and basically, I don't know, repeal it, reverse it, whatever the case is. And so they're calling Trump the racist. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's not what the evidence shows there. That kind of shows the opposite, right? So let's see what Biden thinks here about.
Create a new world order, because the global order is changing again. And the institutions and the rules that worked so well in the post-World War II era for decades, they need to be strengthened. And some have to be changed. So we have to do what we do best. We have to lead. We have to lead. Is to actually create a new world order.
See, and they always like pause when they do it. Actually, create, and that's what Trudeau does. He's like, did you do a we scandal? Are you screwing over the Canadian people? I don't know. So. Now, because I've looked at Confessions of an Economic Hitman, I've done a lot of different studies of different things on how takeovers are happening and coups happen. That's kind of what I see going on in the States. And the States has to fall for the global order to come in. As I showed in the previous videos, you've got all these countries, right, lined up. And people talked about this for months, saying the media is going to declare the Democrats and Biden the winner. The media doesn't decide who the winner is. There is huge evidence of voter fraud. A lot of people saw that coming. So let's backtrack a little bit. Okay. So let's talk about Barr basically calling it, before it even starts. And all right, so he knew it was coming. So let's see.
Now what we're talking about is mailing them to everyone on the voter list when everyone knows those voter lists are inaccurate. People who should get them don't get them, which is what has been one of the major complaints in states that have tried this in municipal elections. And people who get them are not the right people. They're people who have replaced the previous occupant, and they can make them out. And sometimes multiple ballots come to the same address with a whole several generations of occupants. Do you think that's a way to run a vote?
Well, the only thing I'm saying is that so far we haven't seen widespread fraud. But
so far we haven't tried it.
Well,
and the point is
that a lot of us. There are several states that only have mail-in voting, including a Republican
Well,
state
this is playing with fire. This is playing with fire. We're a very closely divided country here. And if people have to have confidence in the results of the election and the legitimacy of the government, and people trying to change the rules to this methodology, which, as a matter of logic, is very open to fraud and coercion, is reckless and dangerous. And the people are playing with fire.
Well, yeah, that happened.
Okay, so he called that, and then we're looking at, look at who's happy about this announcement, right? It's being announced all over the world he's won, but I don't know if he has. So we got, there's no evidence. We've got this guy talking about evidence. I don't know, Greg Abbott, somebody, but let's flash forward because we're talking about, this is an interesting one. Let's watch this a little bit here.
Presidential elections. Democrats do it all the time, and now they might win and have the chance. So what next? On election night, the Chinese currency plunged briefly for the hours that it appeared Donald Trump was going to win. That tells you something, doesn't it? And American stocks rose during that time. That tells you something. But that's over now. Now China is celebrating. They can't help themselves. Here's Chen Weihua from China Daily. I believe I won't tweet nearly as much as in the past 2 years, starting January 20th. Because I don't have to reply to Trump and Pompeo's daily slander on China. I don't expect Biden and his future Secretary of State, whoever he or she is, to be that type of lowlife. So that's an official Chinese government newspaper. That's the Chinese government celebrating the win. Same with this guy, Hu Xijin. Various articles introducing Biden's life have become popular on the internet in China. The tragedy of him losing close family members has aroused sympathy among Chinese people. His failed bids for presidency in the past have also helped create an image of a tenacious man. They're just letting Joe Biden know he's well loved in China. He and his son are welcome back anytime to do business, and the big guy can take as much commission as he wants. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because you're relying on the mainstream media, which did not report the Hunter Biden laptop scandal. By the way, Iran is pretty excited too. Here's a story from Breitbart. Iran, Western hegemony is over as U.S. no longer controls the world. The U.S. government no longer controls what's happening in the world, the Iranian foreign minister said on Thursday, hours after Iranian President Hassan Rouhani predicted the next administration in Washington would surrender to the Islamic Republic and revert to the nuclear deal. Referring to Donald Trump as the gentleman in the White House, Rouhani said the president ruthlessly increased sanctions on Tehran, essentially declaring economic war.
Okay, so there's that. What else? So again, it's weights and scales, right? So I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the other stuff, and so that's why it's time consuming. It's not that fun, but we want to know what's going on here. And I didn't want to come out and say, back in April that this is World War III, although that was my hunch. I kept looking at the evidence and more and more and more. I was like, holy crap, this is World War III. This is a global takeover. All has to do with the election. Here we are now. I predicted this to my friends months ago. I predicted it in a video. Several videos that got deleted. Unfortunately, they're linked to that account, so I can't share them here because I was just going through research, figuring things out, and I was like, oh man, this all has to do with the election. And what I found is everybody who believes on the other side, which is totally fine, they never present any good evidence. The only evidence I actually get Snopes, and I laughed my butt off. I was like, you're literally like, they go as deep as Snopes. It's so bad. So what's the solution? We want to clear our eyes. We want to clear our ears. We want to be open to other people's point of view. We want to not attack another person, but we can also defend ourselves. And we want to focus time in nature, personal health, mental health, preparing for, like transformation, focusing on solutions, all those different types of things, being the person you want to be. I have seen evidence out there that, this is going to be proven as a massive voter fraud. But now the next play is to get Trump out of White House forcibly in January with a coup, saying he's not leaving because the media, and you have to look at who runs the media in the States. I think it's 6 companies. In Canada, it's just one company. They are all globalists. That's why you see it going all over the world. And all the independent media that has way more views than these than the mainstream news, and we know that from Joe Martino of Collective Evolution, who's a friend of mine. The independent media gets way more traction than the mainstream channels do because we report the truth and we don't try to persuade it. We all have biases for sure, but a lot of people really want the truth. And it's interesting that all the Telegram groups, all the people, they'll tell their wake up story, be like, whoa, I believe this. But then when I saw this evidence and went down that rabbit hole, it woke me up to this new understanding. And that's just where the evidence goes. And so these groups are fact checking each other, making sure that it's good evidence. I've seen that they've used a quantum chip encoder, and I watched this interview saying that they used a quantum encoder, some sort of deal to track all the legitimate ballots. And I don't know, that's something I've heard, but I haven't confirmed. I've had a few people that I believe and trust, and they've said, yes, that's the way it's going. So the voter fraud is going to be exposed in court, where the courts are the ones who call the elections. So that's the truth, right? I think American can tell me. I don't know. Like I said, I'm wearing this hat. I don't know. I don't know that much. I'm just kind of sharing my little bits as I go along here and kind of, bringing it together. So hopefully that's true, because that would be awesome. So there's which I didn't say as I'm bouncing all over the place. Biden, New World Order, Obama, surrender your rights. Now they hate Trump. So let's listen to what Trump has to say at the United Nations. And he also spoke at Davos. And if you don't know what Davos is, if you don't know about the Rockefellers, if you don't know about Rockefeller Future Scenario Document, Lockstep, which was written years ago, which is exactly what we're in here. It's the pandemic. You can use this very powerful medical tyranny, owning the media to create these crises and then basically come to power. I'm saying that terribly, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So let's just listen to what Trump has to say to the United Nations.
If you want freedom, take pride in your country. If you want democracy, hold on to your sovereignty. And if you want peace, love your nation. Wise leaders always put the good of their own people and their own country first. The future does not belong to globalists. The future belongs to patriots. The future belongs to sovereign and independent nations who protect their citizens, respect their neighbors, and honor the differences that make each country special and unique.
Wow, Trump, that son of a gun, that racist a-hole, orange man bad. So now, I don't think Trump is the savior. I think that the American Constitution needs to be protected. Essential to that is how voting is done. Now, it seems, again, like the people on the left, the Democrats, and all the conversations I've had, they never want to look at fact or reason. I was like, don't you believe that the vote matters, like that we ensure there's no fraud? It's like, no, it's just Trump doing this and all these racist people doing the thing, so they don't look at the evidence. It's crazy. And then they're totally mean to you. And so people are mean, man. And I just want to focus on building Atlantis, building a better world of peace and cooperation. And I've known about these leaders and these institutions and these organizations and these things that harm people, like Monsanto. Now I'm finding out about vaccines. Now I know more about the healthcare system and why people are so sick. The Flexner report of 1910, very important. The Rockefeller taking over medicine and what we're doing now. And talking to Alex Sakaris, who we had this differing opinion, but Alex, he's like, this is flat earth science talking about Dr. Tom Callum. We did 2 interviews. He wouldn't listen to him about how they haven't isolated the coronavirus. And then I listened to it. I was like, that makes perfect sense. He didn't know how the science was done, but Dr. Cowan explained it. And it's like, oh, well, they didn't isolate a new novel coronavirus. And so now, since all this lockdown, 5G towers have gone up, and there's a ton of evidence that could be potentially harmful and weaponized, a ton. And there are experts all over the world, from university professors and everything in between, saying, no, this could actually cause immense harm. And so you could easily have people hit with 5G, die, and then say, oh, that's the coronavirus. So now what we need to do as a solution to this problem is we're going to need these vaccines. And if you don't take the vaccine, you're dangerous. You need to get this digital identity, right? All of that stuff is dystopian nightmare. And so that looks really good like this. This is why I love to snowboard in this hat. I was in the Alps once, ripping some sweet lines with this hat. Oh God, I miss snowboarding. I love snowboarding. I love adventure. I love travel. I love people. I love community. And I'm really hope that we as a humanity wake up to this stuff and can build something better. And I'm remaining hopeful. I'm remaining positive and empowering myself. And like I said, I could use your support now more than ever. A lot of people have reached out and helped. Thank you so much. Say the podcast is basically a volunteer job. That's what my partner likes to say all the time, and it pretty much is, because it takes a ton of work, and then you get deleted and banned and shadow banned. And I'm like, how do I, why is this all happening to me? This is making it hard. So just want to share the truth with you guys and what I'm finding. And respect your opinion and evidence. You know what I mean? Let me know if something I said is way off. If you got better evidence, fantastic. Let's do this together, and let's create a community based on values, cooperation. But on the other side, if it's like oppression, that's probably not ideal. If you're on the side of the oppressor, if you must obey someone else. I want to be cooperative. I want to find solutions for everybody, help my fellow man up. And you look at the Black Lives Matter stuff. Of course, people who are disenfranchised need to be helped. What about the Native Americans? What about the 9.1 million people who die of starvation each year? All of that matters too. And the big thing with Black Lives Matter is having jails. Yes, jails in the States privatized so they can monetize it. How frigged up is that? That is a systemic problem. Oh my God. And then the crime bill by Biden help that happen. And Biden also connected to China, who's connected to the World Health Organization. So Kamala Harris fought to keep people in jail. This is just what it was. So if you like that, that's fine, but at least be aware of what the truth is. And so we got to go beyond these politics. I like the idea that no matter who wins, we can fix this together. So we can, whether it's Biden, we can fix this. Hopefully, I'm a little bit nervous about if that actually plays out, because I kind of know what their agenda is, and you can find it right here. Boing. 200 layers deep. Human rights. Probably you don't have any youth perspectives. Jeepers. What do they say about Trump in here? Actually, Trump. I looked at some of the AI stuff in this, and it was terrifying. Like artificial intelligence. So air pollution, blockchain, who knows what's going on there. But yeah, so this is what the plan is, and it doesn't seem like a lot of freedom to me. And so let's go. I'm just going all over the place. This is, so check this out. So I made this playlist right at the beginning. So where are we? Oh my goodness. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so this is at the beginning. I started researching this stuff back in March, and look at this deleted video, a nurse account of people killing, people dying in dying in hospitals, Corbett report. I don't know how they're still allowed to make content. This is talking about Cameron Seidel, who was saying that, the deaths are weird, deleted. This was me and amazing Kelly Brogan and Dr. Andrew Kaufman. That's kind of exploded since trying to bring out the truth and understanding what viruses are and how they do what they do. Deleted. Rashid Buttar speaking out. The second wave. Oh, so the second wave, you know what I mean? They're going to blame you. This was months ago. This is Harry Vox talking about here, let's just play that one real quick.
Welcome to the new world in America, where to get on a bus, to go through a subway station, if you think that the procedures at the TSA are onerous, right? Guess this is coming to a bus depot near you. It's a more invasive way, and the ruling class needs this because, let me say, if the ruling class ever saw wide-scale civil unrest, you'd see an Ebola outbreak in America right away.
Okay, so this is, what you see is that Ebola is
another tool in the toolbox of the ruling class control. Yeah,
to keep down
absolutely,
repression.
Positively, 100%. This is a tool.
Right.
Ebola doesn't just magically start spreading. And then we have this doctors that come back here. The white people, of course, live. The two whites who got it or survived. All the black people that get it die. Right? It's very possible that these one of these NGOs over there is going around with a veil of Ebola or spreading it from a small plane onto villages. The point is to get hundreds of thousands of people infected with it and create the next phase of control. Now, one of the things I'd like to show to back up my claims here. Here's a document from the Rockefeller Foundation. Rockefeller Foundation right there. You can zoom in on that where my finger is. It's called Scenarios for the Future International Development, the Rockefeller Foundation. All right? Okay.
Okay, so again, I'm only going to give you glimpses and snapshots. So go look that up. Look it up for yourself, to do some due diligence. And so that talks about the lockstep scenario, which we are in right now. Also, you should be aware of Rockefeller medicine and the Flexner report. So Rockefeller basically hijacked modern medicine in 1910 with the Flexner report, saying anything natural, Ayurvedic, common sense, holistic is quackery, and all we need, what we need pharmaceuticals and vaccines. That's the only medicine that we can use. That gave rise to the $1 trillion vaccine pharmaceutical industry that we're in, and doctors are finding out about what germs do, what viruses do, because we take that as a given, and people just believe what they're told from the education system, which was also funded by Rockefeller and Carnegie, all the medical institutions, Johns Hopkins. And so that's how deep this stuff goes. It's nuts. And it's just legit. If you look at how funding works in universities and things like that, these big billionaire donors and what they're doing. And so pharmaceuticals, the number one lobbyists in governments and the number one advertisers on television. And so massive profits. And now guess what? The coronavirus comes out and they want to vaccinate every person on the planet is your customer with your vaccine, and you don't have a choice. And, no one under 20 has died. And people who are dying have 2.5 existing comorbidities. how does that make any sense? And now they're putting up detention camps, quarantine camps, all that kind of stuff. So it's been playing out how I thought. Let's go back to the playlist because there's a lot of stuff here. I'll just kind of browse through for you. And this is people predicting this stuff months and months and months ago. Oh God, the one world at home propaganda. Are you kidding me? Like, God. Oh yeah, and this goes into Luciferianism, Satanism. Let's just. It does. I'm sorry. So Lady Gaga mask. All right. Let's do this. All right. Okay. So Lady Gaga decides to wear this mask, right? Yeah, that's cool, right? That's a good mask, right? Oh, devil horns. It's definitely not Luciferian stuff. She's just wearing that frigged up mask. And it could be just nothing. It could be, total nonsense. Oh, then you could look at the Olympic opening ceremonies. This is what they call priming the mind. I didn't know I was going to go here, but I'll just show you. Olympic opening ceremony, needles. And you can watch that, look it up after, do your own bloody research. Where's those goblin characters? Oh yeah, look at this. The hospital bed, the baby, just watch it. It's so creepy. Look at this guy. Look at this demon fella. Like what? Why? Why? Oh my God. So, when you kind of know what you're looking at, it's like, holy shit. You can't look at this guy. You got Boris Johnson in a hospital bed. Is that who he is? I don't know what's going on there. So unbelievable. It's unbelievable stuff. So when you wake up to this stuff, people become terrified, but again, don't worry. We just need this to come to the surface. It's probably going to be a little bit rocky, but we will get over it together because the human spirit will triumph over all of this manipulation, fear, propaganda. And again, I'm just doing a massive overview. This could be, this is hundreds of hours of research. I'm just trying to show you little bits and little clips of things that have kind of come to mind and to expose, what's going on. So priming the mind is a big thing. And oh yeah. So what is it going to say? Oh yeah, that, okay, we got oh yeah, that's what I want to go to. All right. I'm with you. Abramovic. All right, so you got Abramovic, Spirit Cooking. This is one of Lady Gaga's friends, right? So this is some great. Oh, these are graphic images, everybody. This is graphic stuff. So just so you know, Spirit Cooking, just disgusting. You know what I mean? Eating people's heads. So just use your common sense here. And so Bill Gates and Microsoft chose her to launch their new VR platform. They did a commercial and it got deleted after so many downvotes immediately. So people knew what was going on. Like this, I'm not going to play the video, but look up Marina Abramovic Spirit Cooking. Pretty dark stuff. Okay, so let's, so we got, what is it? Hillary Clinton, right? She's connected with Pizzagate. Let's see if Pizzagate's. So one of those was emails at John Podesta, right? So like John Podesta art, right? So they're connected to human trafficking, right? Which Trump is talking about, he's passed a lot of bills on human trafficking. I work for the International Tribunal on Natural Justice to help with human trafficking, an estimated 40 million people in a human trafficking condition, very heinous crimes. And I think that that's the most important pandemic on the planet. We need to be aware of it and we need to stop it. And Trump has been doing what he can to do that. Now, I don't know if Hillary Clinton is a Luciferian. That's a pretty bold claim, right? You're going to need some strong evidence. There is a lot of evidence that she did a lot of bad things overseas. What is it? If I can't remember, but I don't know. Just do your own research on Hillary Clinton. See if she's amazing or see if she sucks. So again, I'm not going to do all the work for you. Don't believe me. Do your own bloody research. But okay, so Hillary Clinton, she's linked to John Podesta, right? And so let's just use some common sense here. So let's look at his artwork collection, John Podesta art collection. All right, cool. So this John Podesta art collection. What? Okay, this is weird. What is this? Again, shocking images, warning. What is this? Okay. Oh God. It's so awful. What is this? Jeepers creepers. What the hell? What about there's Marina Abramovic? Oh, it gets bad. You know what I mean? It's bad. You know what I mean? I don't want to give you nightmares, and I've seen some stuff that you don't want to see. But okay, so they're connected to human trafficking, right? That's what the claim is, to say, hey, maybe they're connected to human trafficking, pedophilia. Sure, you know, that's nonsense. Then you look at his art collection. Why do you have such crazy art, dude? You know, what the hell is the deal with that? So let's get the hell out of this, because this is disturbing. What do we got here? So you'll look to Biden. What do we got here? 1.1 thousand. So, you know, people are kind of divided there, right? Australia news. What's going on in Australia? People are kind of like this, but there's no comments. So there's no open debate. We're kind of taking that away. Canada, 802 downvotes. So Canada seems to be pretty aware of what's going on, you know, for the most part. And people don't really, this Hillary Tam is the worst, right? Canada's already taken over by globalists, so the U.S. has to remain sovereign here. There's a video of Hillary Tam talking about the detention camps and all that stuff that basically say if you don't get tested, then you go to a detention camp. So that's not ideal. But what can we talk about that's positive here? Let's just go to some positive. So check out, again, Telegram. Everybody's moving over to Telegram because we're getting dummied. We're getting dummied over there. So check out Thrive too. They're doing some amazing stuff. We're talking about free energies. We're talking about solutions. You know, a lot of people want solutions. So solutions for humanity. Part of that is truth. We need truth to move towards solutions. So check out Thrive too. Foster and Kimberly Gamble. You know, again, what else is there out there? Who else knows some solutions? Put in your best solutions that you know of. Empower Movement. This is another one. This is from Cal Washington. And this is just to get the 5G. Well, this is 5G and smart meter technology off of your house. And I did a podcast with Cal Washington. And again, it goes, if you go all the way down the rabbit hole, unfortunately it goes into Luciferian messed up stuff. And that's just unfortunately where the heck that leads to. It's pretty nuts. But Cal Washington talks about that as well. And I recommend checking that one out. This is the one that got me censored. Mostly fine. People aren't hating on me yet. Mostly. Well, they're hating on me in different spots, but that's okay. So I'm trying to show the Cal Washington. I got a new logo. You know, I was all excited about new logo. Look at that image. My friend Sandra hooking me up. So thank you so much, Sandra, for the help. Anthony with helping. All the people who've helped and reached out with the emails. Thank you. Thank you so much. Super, super helpful. But I just want to show you this video real quick. Cal Washington. Where are you? I don't know. Look up Cal Washington. It's in here. He's one of the recent ones getting deleted. Where are we here, Jim? My apologies for this kind of. David E. Martin, check him out. He's important. Plandemic 2, you know, share his stuff. Very, very, very important. And why don't I, did they delete it? No, they didn't delete it. I just can't find it. So look at, oh, there he is, Cal Washington. There we go. So this one is nuts. Like Cal Washington defend himself in court. He's one of those guys who doesn't have to pay taxes, doesn't have to do any of that stuff. Then I have Tom Barnett up here. Check him out. Follow him. He really knows his stuff. He's out in Australia. And so it's understanding, you know, when you hear about natural law and all that kind of stuff, these guys know their stuff. And that's going to be an important piece coming out to be free and sovereign and helpful. And so, you know, and then I'll look here, I'll just do my own plug. Look at this. I got 5 years, you know, trying to create podcasts on, you know, emotional intelligence, conscious medicine, strategies for facing your fear, working with the Native American culture. By the way, the Mi'kmaq representative I know, David Lombear Senepas, said the whole entire Mi'kmaq are behind Trump. Now I can't verify that, but that's what he told me. And he said he represented 300,000 Native Americans, and we also went to the Parliament of World Religions together and spoke. And so he was behind Trump. And so, you know, somebody was like, yeah, what about the Native Americans? I was like, well, the Native Americans I know support Trump. And but I'm sure there's some Native Americans who don't. But he's the kind of like the spiritual leader. You know, the importance of conserving Native American history. This one is a really important episode as well. You know, just Brian Francis here, his candor. And he did a documentary on the school systems in Canada and how that worked, and just an amazing individual. How awful! Who would downvote Brian Francis? What a piece of crap! So you know, this guy he did a documentary sharing what happened with the Native American school systems, and and horrible, horrible stuff. So there's a lot of disenfranchised communities, and we need to find solutions for all of these things. And I'm always looking for them. I don't know. I'm open for anybody who wants to do a solution. You know, what, regardless of the presidential election, regardless of anything, I want to vote for kindness, compassion, happiness, cooperation, a new world, truth, transparency, all of those different things. But what's happening now is we have an oppressor moving forward through a different guise of social justice. They're saying, you know, Matt, keep everyone safe by staying 6 feet away, wearing a mask, based on false data and authoritarianism, you know, and don't hug people. How anti-human is that? That's crazy. You know what I mean? Get out of here. I'm going to hug whoever I want to hug. I like hugging. It was great. And I hope to be able to hug you guys out there. And I hope we get these festivals back, you know, and these happy places and these solutions and these retreats and these amazing experiences for growth and compassion. And I think what's happening is we're all going through our own reset. We need to get back to, you know, this Native American wisdom, you know, from Clifford Mahooty, Zuni Elder, Brian Francis, all these, David Lombard, all these amazing Native American teachers and leaders. Unfortunately, my friend Carlos Barrios has recently passed. Check out, email me here in the links. I'll put it for, I think it's called the Mayan Wisdom Course. I help with that to share some of his wisdom. Just before he passed, I was helping him. I was like, Carlos, you need to put your information in videos. And he started to do that. And I'm working with his daughter, Solvi Barrios, to share his last wisdom. And, you know, now he's not on the planet. And that's why I was trying to help him get some information out there, because it was so critical. That information so important at this time. He did, you know, he did a gathering of Native American elders, I think in the 90s, and had elders from all over the world come. And so his work was so important. The messages are so important. That wisdom is so important now. So we need new structures of how we govern each other with limited government, but now we're having way overstepped government. And that's what's happening. Tyranny is happening, just so some people are resisting it, and the truth will set us free. So be open-minded. Let's look for solutions. I'm still remaining positive. And, you know, this is Andreas Kalker here. Trump was talking about, you know, chlorine dioxide, or what is it here? Let me just make sure that I get it right, because everyone was saying he's telling you to put cleaner in your arm. Well, this is the guy who does it. Yeah, the power of chlorine dioxide. And there's thousands of doctors that use this in South America or something like that. Again, just overview, look it up yourself, watch the podcast. But he said, yeah, we had amazing success treating this. He talks about the global healthcare racket, the global healthcare mafia. You know, 3,800 views. It's not very much for a solution. I don't care about the freaking views of my stuff. I care about getting quality information out there and having people be aware of solutions. But what's happening is, and this is another thing. This is kind of like a common sense thing. If the Republican agenda of freedom and what Trump is just the mouthpiece for, it could be Pence, it could be anyone else, it could be you. They're just speaking for freedom, for truth, anti-globalism, you know, optional vaccines, no lockdowns. That's what that group of people wants. It's like, we don't want lockdowns, but we got this other side that may or may not be corrupt, where when I look at George Soros funding Black Lives Matter and Antifa destroying the cities and the states, all these democratic states, you know, that's just like what's happening. So they want more lockdowns, oppression, and they want to move forward with this over here, the strategic intelligence agenda of this is the new normal. And you can look up the Great Reset. And so what you're going to see is all this propaganda of Trump, the dictator, coming out. I think the Republicans are going to win in court because the amount of fraud is unbelievable. It's like so sketchy. It's so ridiculous. And so if all of this was nonsense, you know, here's Vox. Can Trump steal the election? No, Biden didn't win it legally yet. Just the media is saying that. So Vox is bought and paid for, right? Right. And you look at this when they can't cheat, you know what I mean? So people are a little bit divided, but most people kind of know what's going on because the evidence for, you know, December is going to be the finale. So this is, so this is going to be interesting times. But there's a lot of evidence for cheating and stealing and all that kind of stuff. And so pay attention. And so if this weren't legit, why are there no comments over here when it keeps trying to go propaganda wise, and all the other people like myself getting deleted, sharing information, right? In my track record, like I showed, was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years of just trying to help do good, help the disenfranchised, worked on human trafficking, bringing awareness to that, worked on forced organ harvesting. I only know a little bit. I want to focus on peak potential human performance, creating the life of your dreams. That's my jam. That's what I've studied. That's what I've dedicated my life to, and done some pretty amazing things that I'm proud of personally to test myself. And I want to share that with you, your potential, your unlimited potential, because if we get into our right livelihood, our right dharma, that helps everybody else. And so check out the Soul Compass course. Go to mattbelair.com. I'm going to moving everything inside the membership. So it's like a Patreon. You can pay what you want. I'm going to have the Soul Compass course in there. The quantum heart hypnosis is going to come out soon. And this is just you got to learn how to work with the mental faculties. And this is the most powerful method that I've learned, from hypnosis to guided meditation to Dr. Joe Dispenza to training with the monks to training with the Shaolin monks to months in meditation to trying every single thing that I could. It's the simplest, most powerful process because you're engaging in the power of your heart. Your heart is much more powerful than your mind, and it creates a very strong electromagnetic signal. So we need to learn how to generate that. And this is what it teaches you to do, to generate that for courage, for creating your dreams, for overcoming limitations outside the head. That's the problem with a lot of this stuff, is they focus so much on the head, you can't find the solution there. You got to focus on the heart. So that's what the quantum heart hypnosis stuff is about. And if you guys want to experience that, go to mattbelair.com, sign up for the email list, get into the Telegram, all that kind of stuff. That's going to be coming out, because I'm trying to pause the podcast a little bit to create a business, because I have a daughter now, and the podcast is mostly volunteer. Well, it's basically all volunteer. I get a little bit on Patreon. So thank you guys for all that support. But I'm 36 now, and I have a daughter, and I gotta do big boy things. So it's either I create a business out of this with amazing products, which they are, and look at solutions for that, or I find some other solution, which is fine. I can do more coaching. I definitely have some awesome clients that I help, but it's my one-on-one time, because I just want to do the podcast all the time. It takes I'm working 40, 60 hours a week on creating this content. So, just enough to pay the bills and, get my daughter a sandwich will be cool. And so that's where I'm kind of like, I'll create the business. Like even with Zen Athlete, I'm training a lot of people there. And so, but it takes my time away, because I'm looking and like, hey, I think teaching kids mental training and sport is super important. But at the same time, we are in a crisis right now. And I think the highest level information is finding people like Andreas Kalker with solutions, finding a David Martin from Plandemic 2 sharing his information, because this only works in fear and propaganda. It only works if you refuse the information. And that's what so many people are struggling with, is strong cognitive dissonance. They can't look at the information, right? But that information will say, oh, wow, this is a bit rough, but I can alchemize it. Now it can make a new and better choice for myself and my community that doesn't cause harm, because you can cause harm through ignorance. And that's what's happening right now. A lot of people are causing harm through ignorance. They're masking their 4-year-old kids, doing all kinds of stupid crap. And so, we're going to build this better world together. This was prophesized by many people. A lot of the elders I talked to, including Carlos Barrios, prophesized this. And he said this is a time of transition and deciding, evolving as a humanity. And we're going to use this crisis and decide, we don't want oppression, tyranny, manipulation of truth, shaming, guilt, people just being terrible. All that shadows coming out. It's like people just being awful ghouls. You know what I mean? And so, try not to be a ghoul, be that compassionate person. And that's what's going to win. The light is always going to win. I hope anyway. I don't know. I think it makes sense to me, and I believe that. And sometimes when I have a powerful meditation, I feel it intrinsically, but then I get into my mind and I see all this kind of stuff going on. And that's where fear and delusion and limited senses come in, because the mind can only process a little bit of information. And so make sure you do your spiritual practices, take care of yourself, be a good human being, and look for solutions. And, this is way beyond politics. This is a spiritual transformation for each and every individual on the planet to decide who they want to be, what kind of character they want to become. And let's do this as a humanity. So I got to jump because I got to get onto a coaching call now. And do some other things. So again, if you want to support, please mattbelair.com, get onto that email list. Most important, Telegram. You want to become a patron, patreon.com/Matt Belair, or come over to the Academy, because you can use the same thing. Come over to the Academy will be super helpful. You can pay $0 or somebody paid me $50 a month, which to me is like zillions of dollars. So I'm so grateful for that. And I'm just going to start moving it in house because I'm getting banned and erased. And hopefully, Instagram and YouTube aren't connected. Right, Instagram and Facebook are connected, so they got me on both accounts there, but YouTube is separate. So I'm small enough now to get by, and hopefully I'll continue to create content because lots of other people are doing that, and I just appreciate you. So I got to go. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I appreciate you watching. Hopefully this was informative. But Team Earth, we got this. Create harmony within yourself. Big, big, big love. We got this.